Hello everyone, good morning. Welcome to today's webinar. This is the first webinar in our speaker prep webinar series. Today we're going to be talking about the speaker portal, any action items and due dates that are relevant to you as a speaker at the AIHce EXP 2020 in Atlanta, Georgia, which will be June 1st to 3rd. So again, we are putting on this webinar series. Last year was our first year. We found that it was very successful. It's a series of webinars that correspond with all of our various deadlines leading up to the conference. We basically review all of the resources available to you, our website, and help you understand the deadlines that we have set and all the expectations for speakers. We will also have some specific webinars on improving presentation skills. We'll post resources online. We'll, closer to the conference, talk about evaluations. We have several webinars that are specific to your role. So if you're a professional poster presenter or if you're a student, we'll have moderators. We'll have specific webinars for you. And all of the information from today's webinar and future webinars, including recordings, will be posted on the online website under the Speak tab. And then we'll also have resources under Helpful Hints for Successful Presentations.
Okay, and then online on the AIHce website, we've posted the webinar schedule that has all of the various upcoming webinars that we will be doing. We will be sending out invites to all the speakers for each and every webinar, so you will receive one like you did for today. There's a couple more that aren't posted on the screen, but a few will be just geared towards poster presenters, a few will be just for PDC presenters, etc. So we're going to talk first about accessing your online speaker account. You should have received your acceptance notification through the speaker portal where you guys submitted your presentation. So you'll use the link in your notification email or the one that is. It sounds like people are having some issues with volume. Can you all hear okay? Okay. All right. So we'll go ahead and keep going. So you all should have received a link on your notification email where you can go in to access your online account. If you don't have it, you can copy it from this slide. We'll also send the slides out after this call, so you can get it from there. You'll go ahead and log into the account to start the process. Your login should be your first initial and last name. And if you don't know your password, there's a forgot password option where your you can have your password emailed to you. So this is what the screen looks like. And then the forgot password option is here.
So the first order of business, and you'll actually, once you log in the speaker portal, you'll be prompted, first thing, if you haven't already completed it, you'll be prompted to complete the speaker agreement. And that agreement should be reviewed and signed no later than January 15th of 2020. So there's about a month and a half left for you to do that. So a little bit about the agreement and what's in it. It's an important agreement, and it's really important that you review it and sign it because we have consent for you to, you have to agree to a recording for the on-demand, which is our e-learning library, and if applicable, you would have to agree to participate in the virtual program, which is a live broadcast. You do have the right to opt out, so perhaps if you work for a company that has rules that prohibit recording or broadcast, you would be able to opt out. We also want you to review the AIHce guidelines, which has information about registration, branding, copyright, and also have a section on the convention center rules and regulations. Of course, each center has its own rules, and so this would be, information about if you were planning on bringing a box there, handouts or whatever, and what you can and cannot do. And then again, some of this, we have one standard agreement for all presenters. So some of this may or may not be as applicable to you. If you're a professional poster presenter or a student poster presenter, of course, you're not going to be recorded or included in the virtual program. but still please review that and sign off, because again, you do need to look at the AIHA guidelines portion and the convention center rules and sign off on those.
And we had one question in the chat related to this, if PDCs are recorded. The answer to that is no, unless they are part of the virtual program. So each day there will be one PDC that is broadcast as part of the virtual conference, and those are the only ones that are recorded.
And then just to add to that, you may or may not know whether or not you're included, but actually you signing off on this agreement by January 15th does help us in selecting the virtual program, because perhaps if you are unable to participate due to company rules, then we would not choose your session. So it is important to go in there and look at all that information before January 15th so that we can finalize the program on our end as well.
Okay, and this is just a screenshot of what the speaker agreement looks like. It should be the first thing that you see when you log into the speaker portal. If you haven't done it already, it's going to walk you through that agreement before you can access other areas of the site. So once you get into the speaker portal, you'll have signed the agreement, you'll have the opportunity to update your contact information. So at the time of submission, it was required, even if you weren't the submitter, for the person that submitted your information to fill out some various details on you. So this is your opportunity to go ahead and update that information if it's incorrect, if you've changed jobs, if you're missing a credential, and so forth.
One other thing to add is that if you are the person that submitted on behalf of several speakers, and you did, enter in their information in their email, you might want to check back with them to, one, make sure that they know they have their own account. Everybody has their own account. Even if you submitted on behalf of multiple individuals, you can't access their account. So you want to make sure that any of your co-presenters that you entered information on, one, have access to the portal, and also you want to make sure that, please confirm that the emails that you have and all the contact information is correct. We actually have had some bounce backs with emails, and unfortunately, if we don't know what the correct email is and we're getting bounce back, they're not getting communicated with. So it's important, if you're the person who organized the session, that you are in communication with your co-speakers, your co-presenters, that that you're all on the same page with the deadlines and the agreement and everything that you need to do in the speaker portal.
Okay. And then just following up on this profile, just to let you know that this information is displayed on your session webpage. So obviously we won't share your contact information like your email, address, and phone, but your name, credentials, and company will be listed. So just make sure it is how you'd like it to appear on your session page. And then as it's noted on the slide, you can update it at any time. So if you change jobs at any point in time, you can definitely go in and update it whenever you'd like. And then we had a question about only one presenter needs to fill out the agreement form, correct? And that is not correct. Every single speaker who is part of the session needs to complete the agreement. If you submit it on behalf of a group of people, every single speaker has their own account within the system, and they all need to complete the agreement, including session moderators.
Another piece that you have in the portal here is to review your bio and add a photo. So at the time of submission, you either entered your bio or somebody entered the bio on your behalf. So it's very important to go in and review what's in there. That will be carried over from the submission. However, this is your opportunity to update it. And then you also have the opportunity to add a photo. And then you can make changes at any time. If you change jobs or you have different information or you want to add something, you can go in and change the bio. And then when folks are looking at your session on our website, they'll be able to read a little bit more about you. And then another piece on if you do decide to upload a headshot, please make sure that you're using the noted sizing of 800 by 100 pixels, because if you use anything else, it could be fuzzy, it could not look right. So you want to make sure that you're making note of that sizing that's recommended in the system. So we also have something that's new for this year. If you're part of the 1-hour education sessions, we have an interactivity form. We encourage interactivity as a way for you to enhance audience engagement. It's only required for 1-hour education sessions. Again, it's not required for case studies, scientific research, posters, and so forth, since those are shorter, more scientific formats. However, we would encourage you to be as interactive, engaging, even in those technical formats as well. We are going to have another webinar later on, I believe in January, that will review the types of interactivity that you can, what you can do in your session. And this will include a polling option in the mobile app. We will, at some future webinar, talk about that polling option more in depth. And if you're kind of not really thinking that you're going to be super interactive, you can choose Q&A sort of as the default. Of course, every session should have Q&A, and then that's something that you can get a little bit more interactive or creative with. And then, again, that should be required for folks who are on the 1-hour education sessions. And so we do have, you'll see a screenshot of what you'll see when you log in the portal. So if we just took an example from a speaker, if you log in, you're part of a 1-hour session, you would see the form with a little flag. It's actually underneath the schedule portion.
And it's available to the main presenter. So if you're listed as a co-presenter under your role, you will not see that form.
And then there's just some details here about what the actual, when you click into it, what the form looks like, and you can see there's several different options of explanation. So one of them is polling, Q&A. If you might do smaller group discussion, this might be kind of if you know you're like more of a niche topic and you think you might have a smaller crowd. Of course, you can't predict that. But there's a bunch of different types, and this is we have these options listed, but they're not. This is not an exhaustive list, so if you want to do something else, you can also do something else as well.
Now we're going to jump into some areas that are covered in the speaker agreement, and we're going to go into speaker registration and reservations. So PDC instructors who wish to attend AIHce on Monday through Wednesday are required to pay the applicable full or one-day registration fee, and should register and reserve the hotel accommodations online. Instructors must also register for the PDCs they are teaching. We'll be sending a special registration code to PDC instructors on December 9th that will comp the cost of the PDC that they are instructing. But they do need to go online and at least register for that PDC, even if they are not intending to go to the main conference. Education session presenters and moderators are required to register for the conference and pay the applicable fees as well.
And I just wanted to make a quick comment that, we have set the schedule and now it's been available for a couple of weeks, and unfortunately there is no mechanism for us or way that we will accommodate individual requests. I mean, I know some of you might have a session that's on a Monday and another one on a Wednesday, and unfortunately we can't put those on the same day. We can't put them back to back. We have to make sure that we have a good variety of topics spread across the conference, and also that at any given time concurrently there's not conflicts in topic areas. So I have had a couple emails from folks asking if we can rearrange the schedule, and unfortunately with hundreds of speakers there's just no way we can accommodate any kind of individual scheduling request. So I just wanted to make that clear. And then again, as Erin said, all speakers do have to register and pay the applicable registration fee. There are a few types that you can choose from, but if you have questions or concerns, you can certainly reach out to us as well.
Okay, we're going to jump into speaker funding. For PDC presenters, they receive an honorarium after the conference for facilitation of their course. The rate is $125 an hour or $1,000 total for a full day course. Those teaching a half-day course receive $500, and those doing a 2-day course is $2,000. If there's multiple instructors in the course, the honorarium is shared between you all. Funding and discounts on registration are not available to education session presenters. And then this is the PDC presenter timeline, just to go through various dates. This is available on the AIHce webpage at this time. If you go to www.AIHce2020.org and click on Speak, you'll see various pages for both education session presenters and PDC presenters where the timelines we're about to show you are posted. They're also part of the online speaker portal.
So a little bit about the education presenter timeline, which is a little bit different than PDC's. Again, as we mentioned previously, January 15th, 2020 is the date that we want you to make sure you go in, log in the speaker portal, review and sign the agreement that we have posted. Again, you'll be prompted if you have never logged in there before. The first thing you'll do is review that agreement, update your profile information, make sure your contact information is current. You have the option to edit your bio that's been carried over from submission and also upload a headshot. We can't guarantee that edits made after that date would be in any published material, although it's unlikely that you would have changes that would impact our materials, but that's just something to be aware of. Again, regarding that interactive session experience form, we want you to go in and review that and complete it by February 19th, 2020. Again, this is applicable for education session presenters for the 1 hour type, not for case study, scientific research, professional poster. March 18th, 2020, please review all the content on the speaker toolkit section of the AIHce EXP 2020 website. That will be updated on an ongoing basis with webinar recordings, various resources, on-site logistics information. If you're a moderator, the moderator guidelines are on there. So you make sure you go and look at all the resources that we have, because a lot of these are going to help you as you're getting ready to go on site and present, let you know what you need to do to prepare and what you need to do when you get there. March 29th, 2020, if you're attending the conference, make sure you register by this date, because that's the advance rate cutoff, and we want you to get the best rate and the best deal on registration. Again, all of the speakers at the conference, the education session presenters, case study, scientific research, professional poster presenters, the students, you want to make sure that you are aware of this rate cutoff, because after that the rates are going to go up, and we won't be able to reverse them or provide any discount. So make sure that you're aware. The sooner you register, the better deal you're going to get. And then, of course, June 1st to 3rd, 2020 are the education presentation dates for the weekday education.
Okay, so we're going to go through the questions that were asked through the chat first, and then I will unmute all lines and see if we can take some questions by phone. Okay, so what have we not answered? We had a question about seeing the details of the submission in the system prior to signing the agreement. Unfortunately, because the speaker portion of this has been turned on, you cannot bypass signing the agreement prior to seeing previous details in your submission. Once you log in, you will be able to download a PDF of the submission, or you can just email either of us and we can email that to you if you'd like. We had a question regarding, will we find out who the other presenters and topics are during our presentation for 1 hour education sessions? I'm assuming this is someone who has submitted a case study or scientific research, and yes, you definitely will be able to find out who those folks are. Let me just show you this slide here. Once you log into the system and get to your actual speaker agreement, if you click on the session here, that will actually take you to the online listing so you can see any of your co-presenters there.
And of course, if for some reason you wanted to contact those folks that you may not know but you're in the 1 hour session with, you can email Erin or I and ask for the emails and we can connect you. Those 20-minute sessions we're trying something new this year where they're kind of standalone. So it's good to know what the other case study or scientific research presenters are presenting so that you can make sure you have flow, and it's good to know those people, but you don't have to do that. It's up to you. But we would be happy to connect you if that's what you desire.
Okay. We had a question about the PDC honorariums. If we can't take the honorarium and want to donate it to the foundation, can we do that? The question, you can definitely do that. So you guys will be provided honorarium forms on site by your course monitors. You can fill out that form and have the funds donated to the AIHA Foundation if you wish to. We had a question about contributing to the material. You wanted to acknowledge someone on an education session that's not able to attend. Yes, you can definitely acknowledge that person. Just shoot us an email and we can add it somewhere within the submission details to have it display on the web listing. Are there deadlines for submitting PowerPoint? There are deadlines for submitting the PDC PowerPoints, yes. We do create handouts for students for the PDC, so we would like to have your PowerPoints, I believe it's in sometime in April. But for the education sessions, there is not a deadline for that as long as it's an hour before your session. So we will get into that details on that in a future webinar. Basically, we'll be having an online portal where you upload your PowerPoint to, but you can do that at any point in time as long as it's an hour before your session starts.
Another note is that we do have an official conference PowerPoint template, so you want to make sure when you start working on it that you will ideally use our AIHce 2020 PowerPoint template. It provides a nice cohesive look, and of course if you are from a company, there's nothing wrong with that, but sometimes using a company PowerPoint slide deck will not send a good message in terms of people thinking that there might be a sales pitch or commercialism, which we don't condone, so it's always a good idea to use our PowerPoint template, which is what we recommend that you use. So please check on the website for that template.
Coming soon.
Yeah, coming soon. It's not quite ready. I'm sure most of you are probably not working on your slides, but if you are and you can't find it, and let us know, and we'll send it over to you when it's available, which may not be for another couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think definitely by January we will have that posted on the website. That answers another question. If a speaker in an education session has a last-minute conflict and needs to be replaced, that person can be replaced. Just notify one of the two of us, and we will get the session updated and all of the website and everything updated. We had a question about someone who submitted on behalf of a group and how can co-presenters obtain their login information for the Speaker Ready Room. Each person has an online account. Their username should be their first initial and last name. All they need to do is go to the website, put that information in, and click the Forgot Password option. Whatever email you entered for them at the time of submission will get the email to reset their password. If there's any issues with that, they can just email us, and we will go ahead and get them that information via email. What is the max time and minimum time for student presentations? So student presentations are 1 hour. You can have up to 3 presenters within that, so you can divide it out how you see fit, but it is 1 hour total.
We should also add that we are still accepting student posters and student presentations through, I believe, March 16th, 2020, due to university timelines and research that's being conducted. Ideally, what the student presentation is 1 to 3 students presenting on research with a faculty advisor that may serve as moderator, and those students are kind of sharing research they're doing at their university. We did get a couple in the submissions that were not actually what we were looking for student poster or student presentations, so I just wanted to clarify what we were envisioning for that. But of course, if you are PhD student or grad student or undergrad, or somebody who's doing good research and it's only the one person, then that person can also submit for the whole hour. But it is nice to have multiple students from a university with the faculty advisor kind of sharing what's being done at the university. And then of course we have the student poster format, which we've always had. So again, March 16th is the deadline, the final deadline for that. We're accepting on a rolling basis, so if you want to submit now, a student that's going to submit now, we can review those earlier. and then, let you know the decision on that sooner, so then, of course, you can register earlier and plan earlier. So just a note that those are still being accepted.
Yeah. And if you are the only student, then you would have the full hour to yourself.
And just another note, if you're not currently a student or the person is not a student, if they've graduated, that's not an appropriate presentation type. So we've had in the past sometimes somebody will graduate and then they're so recently out of school, they're working, but it's not an appropriate format, so just make sure the person is currently in a program.
Currently a student.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so we had another question about, are the slides today available? And yes, we will be posting them to the website later on today. So by this afternoon, you should see both the recording of the webinar as well as the PDF of the slides that you can download. You can access it by going to the AIHce website. So that's AIHce2020.org. Click on Speak and then click on Helpful Hints for your presentation, where you'll see the full listing of the webinar schedule, and then we will be posting all the recordings and slides to upcoming webinars there as well. All right, I'm going to try unmuting the lines for any questions anyone wants to ask. So just one moment.
The conference has been unmuted.
Okay. So everyone is unmuted. If you have a question you'd like to ask, not on the chat, just let us know. All right, I'm not hearing any questions. So we're going to go ahead and end today's call. Thank you all for joining us. We'll be sending out a recording, as I mentioned earlier, and posting it on the webpage, and we'll send you all the next invite for the next upcoming webinar very soon. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.